Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers 90. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. 90 shows, brother. We're getting up there.
I know. It seems like time's flying too, man. I feel like it was just last week, and I'm excited because things are changing a little bit. We're finally getting that space between our shows that everybody's wanted, that we've wanted, just to give people a little bit of distance between shows, right?
Yeah, well, since you bring it up, we might as well just get right into it. Things are changing, namely my work schedule. And whereas I had Monday off on my old schedule, this is no longer going to be the case. So we've kind of flirted around in recent weeks with the idea of changing up the Monday show. And I'm here to tell you, friends, today it is official starting this week and every week going forward. The Monday show will now be on Wednesday and will henceforth be known as, drumroll, virtual show. That's right. We're going to keep the episode numbering. So whatever, I guess it would be 70. We'll go to virtual show 70 this coming Wednesday. And what you're saying, Roots, is right. It's going to allow us a little bit of space in between our content anyway, much needed space. And as bad as I hate to see the Monday show go, we've spent a year building that brand. I'm excited. I'm excited to have a little bit more time to prepare in between shows, right?
Yeah, rest in peace, Monday show. What I was thinking is that what's kind of makes me a little sad is I liked the old Monday show on Wednesday or Monday show on Tuesday. But now it's virtual show and it could be on any day. So it does make it easier in that respect. But I kind of liked that little play of words. I think people did as well. But I think they're gonna like the Wednesday show, virtual show. And it's gonna make it better for just everything because Sunday, Mondays, it was so close together. We're doing one show, then we got the next show. And people don't realize, having the news show and then the show that covers all the stuff that we do gaming wise. Sometimes we decide on a Sunday what we're going to do on Monday, and then we got no time to barely play. So this will give us the extra time to get into those games. And I guess you're going to have to change the rules though, right? Because technically the rules for our show, our game we just started says Monday by certain time. So I guess we'll just kind of change that one word to Wednesday, and
Yeah,
everything will stay the same.
we'll have to put a motion forth to the assembly to hereby strike the word Monday and replace it with Wednesday. All in favor, say aye.
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 Yeah, there we go.
All right. The resolution is hereby amended. The Monday show is now Wednesday.
I'm so excited, Wes. I'm excited and I'm a little apprehensive. I went in to play Dying Light yesterday to get that first chunk of my gaming off, and I'm still having disconnect issues. And so my last ditch effort, from what I'm reading on the Quest 2, is which I guess is not a problem for a lot of people. I thought it was a lot of problem for a lot of people, but most people don't have this problem because they don't have a USB-C plug into their video card, and for whatever reason it's just causes conflicts. It works sometimes, it doesn't.
Oh, you're using USB-C.
Yeah, so I've got an adapter coming
Oh,
today. It's gonna let me plug it into my USB 3.0, and it's actually got a charge. It's a charging one. It's actually a really nice one, and we'll see. Hopefully, from what Mash Daddy says, he actually got a USB-C in his PCI Express port, one of those ports, and he's been using it that way. And I just never really thought. I thought that the video cards, man, this was like magic, dude. The 2080, the 2000 series, they got this new way to. It's going to go directly in. It's new, and everybody wanted it, right? But like a lot of people in the comments that I've been reading in these issues that people have been having, really snarky comments too, probably from people like you, Wes, with a 3080. They say, well, that's why it's not in the 3000 series, the USB-C port. It sucks. There's a
oh, so
reason.
you've got a C port right on your video card then.
Yeah, it's built in. So, and Mash Daddy doesn't have his built in, so he had to get an adapter or get that PCI Express slot, and he says it runs perfect. So I'm really feeling like, again, I'm feeling like I've solved it. We'll see. Well, within a few hours, I've
Yeah.
got this adapter coming. So
Well, that never occurred to me that you were using USB-C because you got the official cable, but of course that would make sense. My I have a USB-C built right into my motherboard. I have a good expensive motherboard, and it had all different sorts of USB on it, USB-C included. But whenever I've tried to run Link through USB-C, it's been shit.
Mm,
And I don't even use that, dude. My link cable is the Anchor power line
mm.
cable, and I use that with an active extension into USB 3.0, and it works great. It drops occasionally, but it's very rare. Um,
Well, we're gonna see because I tried to do Dying Light and Helix Vision last night, and I thought, okay, this is if I can at least do this because Population One is it's competitive. I can't do it. And it had more issues with once I dropped the thing, man. All sorts of fucked up shit happened with Helix Vision, and I just got it got so bad, Wes, that if I wasn't playing with Mash, I would have just quit my stream. But since I was playing with him, I played it flat. So I played
well,
4 hours
well,
of the game and didn't get any credit for it. I'm still gonna have to go back and do it again.
this is what you get for not waiting for me. I told you I'd play this game with you, bro, this week after my schedule changed. And then when I saw you were playing it yesterday, I was like, well, I'm not starting in the middle, so those guys can just have fun with it.
Well,
But
that's
if
the
you're gonna
beauty
stay
of it.
there,
Well, that's the beauty of the game. We played on Mash Daddy's game, and so like each person's got their own individual save. So my save, I haven't done shit on my save. We would probably, if I was playing with you, I would go in with you on your save. And it would just be a completely different experience that you and I experience, versus on in Mash's game or whatever. The only difference would be is I've got some skills, and some, I've leveled 5 or 6 levels. You know what I mean? Um,
well, I'm down, dude. Whenever you want to jump into the well. I mean, with that said, we do have a queue of games that we want to play, but I'm down for this one. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Mash Daddy was very impressed with the way it looked and played in Helix Vision, and he's telling everybody we got Jim Hall to buy it, Overg's bought it, and so we're getting everybody in there, bro. It's a person co-op, so it's crazy. It's cool.
That sounds awesome. Sounds like a good way to warm up for the after the fall, right?
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for a built from the ground up version of Dying Light or After the Fall. Absolutely.
Spry Guy says, I can't wait until the Wednesday show is delayed until Thursday or Friday, just like the Monday show delayed until Tuesday or Wednesday. Well, that's the beauty of virtual show, right? It's not called the Wednesday show. It can be on any day, bro. It might even just be on Monday.
Yeah, yeah, it could be on a Monday for sure. Yeah, and almost was gonna stay on Monday if I could verify my job hours because I just never know what I'm gonna be at, where I'm gonna be. So
Yeah. Well, this is for the best. Again, not only does it uh, allow me to do the show on one of my days off, but it gives us more preparation time, which means that when we talk about these games on Wednesday, we're likely to have more than an hour or two in the game, which is kind of the state of things when you talk about the Monday show, because the weekend spent prepping for Sunday, and then we jump into the games after the Sunday show, and then we have the Monday show. Um, for example, I'm going to be talking about Hitman on this week's virtual show, and I've already got 3 or 4 hours into it, and I'll be doing more between now and then. So,
oh, nice. Technoglitch says, does it look any better than the original Dying Light mod? Because I can't play that version; it's too janky. I'm assuming you're talking about the code that was left in there from Oculus. There was actually a line, and I've done that before, where all you had to do was just change it from no to yes, or take out part of the line, and it automatically put it into VR. But you're absolutely right. It was really bizarre, very, very weird the way it felt. And I was able to do it back in the day when I did it, but I wouldn't recommend a lot of people do it because I think it would make you sick. And that goes to my second part of my response. It absolutely is better. It's Helix Vision. It's on a screen, however close, however big you want it to be, and then you have it in 3D. So it's close enough to where as you're moving around in first person, it really feels like you're there, and then everything's 3D. It's popping. It's way better than the playing it flat. Obviously, wouldn't be as good as playing from the ground up VR, but it's really good. So definitely recommend it.
yeah, dude, sounds awesome, and I'm sure it'll be a topic on multiple virtual shows to come. One more programming note. Before we get into the show here, I just wanted to make a quick mention. Unless something drastic happens and something changes, I do expect that I will be a guest on the VR 365 show this coming Tuesday evening around 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the evening. So if you guys just can't wait for the virtual show and you
Mm.
want to hear a little more VR talk, tune in to Anthony's channel on Tuesday. And as of right now, that's when we're scheduled to go. Of course, things can happen last minute that push it back to another day. But as of right now, it's looking like Tuesday.
Do you know what time by chance or?
7:30 is what we're shooting for. 7:30 Eastern
Ooh,
time. So it'd be 5:30 your time.
hell yeah, dude.
4:30 radio run time.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will absolutely 100% be there because I want to get some more West time. I want to see. That's the thing. I love Anthony's interviews or his conversations. Mix that with Wes. Maybe I find something out about Wes that I don't even know. So that's gonna be good.
Well, a lot to talk about, right? We said it. What we said it last week of the that we had our show. We mentioned that there's always this little lull for a few weeks after Christmas where not much happens in the VR gaming space, and then the seal breaks and it starts to trickle in, and then the trickle becomes a flood. Well, the trickle's starting this week, Roots. We got our first confirmation of IVR, Apple VR. Apparently, according to Bloomberg, this is a real thing. It's in development right now, and we could see it as early as next year.
Oh, cool. Well, actually, I was gonna type this in. I Matthias asks if this is a giveaway stream or a regular stream. I'm assuming you came in during a giveaway stream. That is so rare. You came on a day that like we don't do that. We want to draw people with our content. We don't like to just try to give away people and draw them in that way. But we do get keys every now and then from developers that will want us to give out their stuff, and sometimes Wes just likes to throw a key in there, just to do it. So that could happen as well. But for the most part, 99.9% of our streams are going to be content and not trying to entice you in by giving you something.
Yeah, there's a reason why the 2020 show had like 90 giveaway keys in it. It's because we don't do that very often, right? When we give away games, it's a celebration. It's a special um it's a special occasion. And now, with that said, I would like to say something to all of our audio listeners out there
Oh
who
yeah.
listen on the various podcast platforms. Pay attention this week. We'll have a special short audio file that's going to be published on all of our audio platforms. It's going to give you guys instructions on how you can enter to win a game or two of your choosing. Most of the good stuff, the best keys we gave away during the 2020 show, but we still have a lot of really great keys left over. And then we had one of our audio listeners reach out recently and said, "Hey, what about us? How can we get in on all this giveaway goodness?" So I told that person, it didn't even occur to me that we have a whole other audience out there. So we're going to do something for you all, and we're going to find a way to get these keys in your hands. So be sure to stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Thanks to that person that messaged Wes as well, because somehow you guys have slipped through the cracks. I mean, it's not like I'm not uploading it every chance I can get it. And I do. And this is, I guess I'll explain it to you. I know I've explained it to you guys before, but I know a lot of people get frustrated with the time it takes to get on there. And I kid you not, there'll be days I'm trying to download that thing for 2 days. It won't let me download it. It hasn't rendered all the way. And then all of a sudden it'll do it. Other times it does immediately. And so it's a crapshoot. And if I don't get it the first time, sometimes I forget. But usually it's within a couple days. So, and if you want to have it fresh and brand new, join us live on YouTube.
Matthias says, "Can I find your channel on the radio?" It's on anywhere you can listen to podcasts. It's on there. We're on iTunes, any number of the major podcasting platforms. You can find the audio version of our shows on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, just check it out, subscribe or whatever they call it on those particular platforms, and yeah, we're everywhere, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's nothing preventing the radio listeners from coming over to YouTube to try for those keys when they're there as well. It goes both ways. If somebody wants to take the effort to
We
do
got
that.
some good stuff left, man. We've still got some copies of The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners to give away. We've got I Expect You to Die. We've got Killing Floor Incursion. I think we may even have a copy of Hellblade still to give away and
Ooh,
Operation Warcade. I mean, we've got some good stuff. And I think the way that we're going to go about it is we're just going to pick a few winners and, first come, first serve. They'll have their pick from the lot of it.
cool. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Let's see. Dr. Crippen 324 says no, not Apple. Ruuts, what do you think about IVR? Are you excited about this?
Um, I'm not. It's not that I'm not excited about it. I mean, bringing more people into VR is always good. I've just never been impressed with Apple myself. I've always looked at it as Apple as like we're going to charge more so that we can make you think our product is better. I don't really believe it's better. I think it's got a lot of weirdness to it. I had Macs growing up. I just don't like them. I've tried everything about their operating system. I don't like it. So to each their own. But I think you'd be better off to come over to the good side and leave that shit. But that's me.
Well, I agree with you for the most part. I'm not excited for the device itself, but there are a few things about the device that excite me. First of all, I mean, it's kind of been our goal, right? Since the time we started this channel, us collectively as a community, with PD in the chat here, Gamer Tag, the Without Parole guys, all of us collectively have all kind of been working toward the same goal, and that is to get VR into the mainstream consciousness, to make Joe and Sally Walmart know and want VR. And the reason why, obviously, is we want AAA games. We want AAA games. And the only way we're going to get there is by pervading the public consciousness. And I think that if anything, IVR, the fact that this is a real thing, really shows where VR is going, or at least where it's expected to go in the next couple of years. Because trust me, Apple would not be messing with this if VR weren't going to be a thing. So that excites me. I'm a bit excited to see how the device itself turns out, because even though a lot of Apple products turn to be a bit underpowered from a CPU, GPU standpoint, they do have their strengths, right? They always have tremendous screens and great cameras. And I got to imagine that there are going to be similar components, on this new device that are, you're going to be able to say the same thing about it. It might not be as powerful as, say, a Quest 3 or whatever, but man, that screen, or, it'll be something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have what really excites me the most about the prospect of an IVR is what effect that competition is going to have in the space. Right now, Facebook's just kind of running away with standalone VR. But here comes Apple, not so fast, friends. And, competition always turns out to be a good thing for consumers. So what it's going to mean is it's going to mean more for us rather, coming from Facebook and the other competitors, Sony or what have you. And that's only good in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's funny when you think of Apple. Do you think of gaming at all? Because I don't.
I think there's going to be some gaming. I think that much like Facebook's in game, I think Apple's going to be a little bit more, cut to the chase, and they're going to try to build a social platform just like Facebook.
Yeah, I agree. I know so many people that have Apples, like Jim Hall or whatever, but they don't. Nobody games on an Apple computer. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure there's some people that do it, and I know that there's that maybe it is a different branch. It's a completely different branch of things that maybe the headsets now for VR aren't focusing on. Maybe it's more, there's the group of people that I run into, and I've said this before. that are older that just could give a shit's less about games. But when I start talking about going into, say, the whatchamacallit, in Rome and looking at all the artwork on the ceiling, the Sistine Chapel and stuff that we did, and stuff like that, I've had, like, I could see it in their eyes, like they were like, "Oh my God, that sounds amazing." And maybe Apple comes from that perspective. And maybe they blow me away and they have all this gaming that's just so good. But like I said, most people that I know, that have Apples also have an PC, and that isn't an Apple to run games. So
Well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting not only from a hardware standpoint, not only from a platform standpoint, but their software. I mean, if iPhone is known for anything from its users, they do have innovative approaches to convenient, applications and tools on their phone. All of their ecosystem, everything kind of integrates very well between the iMacs and the iPhones, and all of their different devices are very, very well integrated. I got to imagine that this is going to be no different. But again, you know, Facebook kind of been running away with the VR space lately. We're all just kind of been sitting here with our fingers crossed, waiting for the other shoe to drop from Sony. But here comes Apple into the fray to pick up that mantle. And you know what, Roots? I think that Sony might not be that far behind, because we did, from Capcom just a few days ago. They did a big event revealing Resident Evil 8. A lot of new, a lot of new information coming out about Resident Evil 8. We now have a release date for it. We now have a playable demo on PlayStation 5. Well, I'll take that back. We have a demo. I'm not sure if it's playable or not playable. It might just be something that shows off the graphics of the game. I'm not sure. I haven't played it yet. I've got it installed. I have not played it yet. Uh, but most importantly, Roots, they confirmed that Resident Evil 7, or sorry, Resident Evil 8, going to be playable on PlayStation 4 as well as PlayStation 5. So while they didn't technically confirm PlayStation VR support, the fact that it's coming out on PlayStation 4 pretty much locks it for me. We're going to get this in VR, and there's not long to wait, Roots. It's coming out in March.
well, I'll tell you what, man. Anybody that says it's not coming out in VR didn't pay attention to how well 7 did and how many people dream of it still coming to PC VR. So I agree with you.
Uh,
I don't see why they wouldn't put 8 in VR.
Paradise the Case says no VR for Resident Evil 8, but now it's working with Resident Evil 7 with a new Vortex update. He says it's working great in Vortex now, Roots, due to some kind of new update. I don't know if it's a new driver
Are you
or
kidding
maybe a
me?
new profile, but he says it works wonderfully.
Now,
Beautiful in
is that,
Vortex.
please tell me, PD, that's the immersive screen version. I know that you like to think that you can play it full VR and it's no different or it's good, but my experience with full VR and Vorpax is shit. So I'm always going to do the immersive screen. I'm assuming I can do the immersive screen, but it's funny because I was just talking to that about that last night to Mash Daddy and how much, both of us were saying that, we want to play it in VR. We want to use Vorpax. We want to use it in Helix Vision or something. I said, dude, if I could get it into either one of those, I'd be playing it right now. So that's good news, PD. That makes me very happy
Yeah,
and
dude. I
scared.
mean, great news. I've always wanted to play it on PC as well because it is my favorite game. Um, and I've wanted to really jack up the graphics
Mm,
with it. And maybe there'll be an update for it for PlayStation 5 VR, but as of right now, the difference is minimal between the PS4 Pro version and
mm.
the PS5 version. But if it's working great on PC, then yeah, man, I might give it another shot in there. PD says that he's got
A video.
a video coming up later tonight. Says it's full VR, just as good as PlayStation VR, but with better graphics. Man, I'll believe that when I see it.
I still have yet to
Uh,
see any game in Vorpex full VR look good, but that's just me. I don't know what I must be doing something wrong because
yeah, it always has this kind of
it feels
weird
weird.
distortion effect on the periphery, like kind of like a bottle. Those glass, like you've got glasses on or something, and everything's weird and it has this weird curvature. in your peripheral vision. But
Yeah.
maybe we're doing it wrong, Roots.
Yeah, I think I'm doing it wrong for sure.
But yeah, I'll be sure to check out PD's video. You guys be sure to subscribe to his channel if you haven't. He's pretty much he pretty much owns the Vorpex space on YouTube now. That he plays everything in Vorpex and does a video about it. He says that the creator of Vorpex updated the Resident Evil 7 profile 2 days ago. So this is straight from Ralph, Roots.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Ralph is definitely magician at what he does. So if PD's saying he got, I believe you. I'm excited because up until recently, it didn't matter if it was Vorpex or Helix Vision. I just could never get either of the games to run. I even bought the game so that I could play it, and it's waiting there. And if I can get it, oh man, I don't know, Wes. I was gonna say if I can get it to run, maybe it makes it on my list, but I don't see me ever finishing that game. You still haven't finished it, and that's your favorite game of all time, bro. So,
To be fair, I've got one PlayStation left and I'm at the end of it. I went in the other day, man, assuming that my PS5 would record full HD PSVR, but it doesn't. It's 720p, just like PS4. So I'm kind of at a inroads here because I sold my Elgato capture card for for twice what I paid for it. I mean, I did good with it, but I have no capture card now. So do I finish the series in 720p after doing 1080 60 the whole time, or do I wait and wait until I got a capture card? I don't know.
well, you could buy another capture card and sell it for double sometime down the
Right.
road.
Anyway, I'm going to be playing that Resident Evil 8 demo soon. Thinking I might do a reaction video to it because I love this crap, and as I mentioned to you guys recently, I started a brand new channel to upload flat gaming stuff onto. So that's where it will be if I do a reaction video. I have put a link in the description to my new flat pancake gaming YouTube channel. There's no subscribers, there's no videos, nothing yet, just a empty channel waiting for content, but content coming soon for it. So if that's something that you're interested in, be sure to scroll down there and hit the red button.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Anyway, Roots, let's get into some VR talk. But before we do that, let's kick it off as we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. We've got Diz the Game Cat dropping by. Hello, sir. Drew, of course. PD, we've been talking to him as well as Durillo. Durillo says that Paradise Decay is his spirit animal. Duck Dive Dodge in the house. Bitey, Les Marwick. Mash Daddy, what's up, friend? Mash Daddy followed me on Twitter earlier today. Thanks for that. Techno Glitch 666 person. Scion, what's up, friend? I Matthias, Dr. Crippen 324. Tons of people, Roots. Tons of people showing up to check out this week's VR news. And what news do we have? As I mentioned a moment ago, so some stuff starting to trickle out. The news wire lighting up this week as we learn that id Software is about to jump back into VR. A rating in Australia has been filed for a VR game from the Doom developer, and the project looks to be due at some point this year. In an entry dated January 22nd, the Australian Classification Board has given Project 2021A from id Software and publisher Bethesda an 18 plus restricted certification.
Ooh.
The game is listed as having high levels of violence, strong themes, and mild language. 2021 listed as the year of production, and it will have, quote, online interactivity. Roots, what could this mystery game be?
I don't know. There's a lot of talk in the Discord, right? I know you want it to be a Doom game. Scion would love it to be a Quake. There could be a lot. There's so many different IPs out there. As I was looking into what trying to find some videos of just some old school Doom or footage of what they've put out. There's a lot of different stuff under this umbrella, right?
Dude, there's so much stuff, and it literally could be any. Like you said, the prevailing wisdom, um, says that this is one of two things. Either this is Doom Eternal VFR, or this is Quake and Quake VR, and there's some factual evidence to support both. Of course, Quake VR, obviously being based upon the online interactivity that has been confirmed for this game. With that being said, I tend to lean the other way because, well, you know how it can be in VR for a strictly online game, and it isn't Quake predominantly online gameplay, like competitive gameplay.
As far as I know, that's I mean, I never really played Quake, but I'm pretty sure that didn't have a storyline. And as much as we'd love to have it, dude, like I don't know, man. Like the multiplayers are so sketch on what's gonna do. I think it needs an extra mode on there to survive. But then again, look at Pop One. If it's the right one, it can do it. So
But that's the thing; it's either hit or miss. And I don't see a big company like this investing in publishing a VR game unless they're sure they're going to get some kind of return on it. Now, I tend to believe that it's Doom Eternal for a couple of reasons. Doom Eternal VFR. Firstly, it fits the pattern. Doom 2016 came out in obviously 2016, and in 2017 we got Doom VFR, the VR counterpart to Doom 2016. Well, now we have Doom Eternal coming out in 2020, and all of a sudden this mystery 2021 game pops up for VR. So that would pretty much fulfill the same pattern as last time, where the Doom game gets a VR counterpart the following year. On top of that, we have the fact that Doom Eternal, above all, is known for its high level of optimization. You can run this game 1080p at hundreds of frames per second on even moderate gaming rigs. So the fact that it's the flat version is so well optimized leads me to believe that there's not a better candidate in their entire lexicon. There's not a better candidate for VR, for a VR version than Doom Eternal. And maybe it's wishful thinking because obviously, if I had my druthers, that's what it would be. I love Doom, but only time's going to tell for sure what we're getting here.
I don't even understand why Scion wants Quake in VR. He's already got Grapple Tournament. That's pretty much Quake in VR right there with an extra added cool swinging around thing. And I know he's really into that, or maybe
You
not. But
know, you know who else is into swinging around things?
My
oh
mom!
god, I did not know that about her.
Oh, brother. Anyway, yeah, another interesting facet that not many people are talking about with this, Doom VFR released predominantly for PlayStation VR as well as HTC Vive. No official support for Oculus headsets due to the legal rift between
Mm.
the parent corporation ZeniMax and Oculus. But the landscape has changed since then, Ruuts, because now ZeniMax has been bought out by Microsoft. So this is all owned by Microsoft. So it seems highly unlikely that this would be something that predominantly rolls out on PlayStation VR. And we could very well possibly see that role that would normally be taken by Sony actually be filled by Oculus, because I got to imagine that those old grudges are going to die off now that the old ZeniMax corporation's being taken out of the equation.
Yeah, plus I think they had already settled everything to begin with. So even if they hadn't picked them up, I think it might have kind of squashed it. And Carmack's not even with Oculus anymore. And like, there's just so not that that was an issue, but you would think that would have helped it. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what it's going to be. I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be Quake. Although somebody in the chat did say that Quake 4, I think it was PD, did have a storyline. So, I'm more inclined to, just from what your logic said, from the last two releases, and Doom VFR was so good, even though it had its weirdness around the arm. It was a good game, and so I'm kind
Yeah.
of psyched to see what this next one will be.
Yeah, I've been having fun with Doom 3, mod in VR, but as I said on last week's Monday show, it doesn't hold a candle to Doom VFR in my book. Doom VFR is awesome.
Yeah,
It does, in spite of its technical flaws, it's a fun game.
yeah, absolutely.
And to the top of my replay list now that it's dawned upon me that I have a Steam VR headset that's an official Steam VR headset now. I can go back in and check out Doom VFR with the extra high res, screens and possibly, official controller support.
Hmm.
We had when we played through it, we had to play through it on PlayStation because the Oculus support was so crap on PC.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever fixed that or not, but I like how you say it may have support because you just never know when it comes to the any controllers that aren't Oculus for whatever reason. It's a crapshoot, dude. There's 5 or 6 headsets. Let's just make it for one.
Right.
Makes no
Right.
sense.
But time will tell. I'm sure we'll get into that on a future Monday show. But a good way to kick off 2021. We had somebody leave a comment 2 or 3 weeks ago saying 2020 was a good year for VR. I don't see the same thing happening in 2021. There's nothing on the radar.
Oh shit.
2020 year is not going to be a good year for VR. And
Mm.
I say, buddy, you're not paying attention because we already have a bunch of awesome stuff confirmed. And you know how it is in VR roots. Shit just drops in our laps all the time out of nowhere. Stuff like this, a possible new Doom title on the horizon. And I got to imagine it'll probably drop fairly soon. I mean, it's called Project 2021A,
Mm.
meaning that there are going to be other projects this year. This is the first one.
I was gonna say I feel really bad for that person in the comments, but then I realized that they're here for the show, so they're gonna find out as all these shows. If they weren't watching our show, they might really think 2021 was a shit year for VR. But we're gonna be. I think we're gonna have a really good year for VR as far as software goes.
Yeah, I
So,
do too. I think it's going to be amazing. I think we're going to see standalone hit a new level in terms of the quality
mm,
as more titles are optimized for the Oculus Quest 2 hardware. And I think that we're going to start to see the beginnings, the whispers of PSVR 2. I think we're probably, if we don't see PSVR 2 uh, accelerated in a major way, then we're going to start to see PlayStation 5 support for PSVR 1, which would be more than sufficient in my book. And then we're going to see PCVR continue to grow and get supported based on all the new people that are entering the PC gaming ecosystem.
yeah.
So I think it's going to be good on all fronts.
So let me ask you this: do you think 2021 is the year that we bring Gerillo into the fold, nuzzle him up into a Quest 2? Show him the beauty of the standalone graphics.
I don't know, man. It may just be the case because Ubisoft have now released some new job listings that show that they're hiring for their upcoming VR games based on the Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell series. For Assassin's Creed VR, there are 4 jobs listed, including development tester, QA tester, senior VR game designer, and VR game designer. But for Splinter Cell VR, there are 17
Oh wow.
listed positions, and one of those routes being network programmer, which involves, quote, developing multiplayer core features and game services using existing online infrastructure. This confirms that Splinter Cell VR is going to have some kind of multiplayer mode. Um, the positions for both games require experience with Unity, which is a completely different engine to their proprietary Anvil Next engine, which implies that the Assassin's Creed games and the Splinter Cell games are going to be entirely built for VR experience
Mm.
that exists separately to the main series games. Assassin's Creed VR and Splinter Cell VR, of course, were announced in September at last year's Facebook Connect and will release Roots for Oculus devices. So when you asked me about Dorillo, are we going to be able to get him into a Quest? I mean, he's going to have to submit, right? If we keep getting games like Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell in VR, and And if Oculus decides to cut the cord on Quest 1 and fully, support the newer hardware, I mean, he's got to give in at some point, right?
Yeah, well, you would think, but his comment, he
You
said he can't
think,
wait to get into the escape room and wave shooters on the Quest. And that was going to ask you, Wes, like what part of you is because there is part of me that's a little worried about that. We've seen that with Wolfenstein, Cyberpilot, and we've seen ones that we just thought, oh my god, this is going to be phenomenal, and then it comes out and we're like, ugh, like this is okay, but it's not what we thought it was going to be. I don't think that's going to be the case this time, but we don't know now. But what do you think the chances are? And I know some people are going to freak out because for whatever reason, I got to be in the character's eyes, bro. Like I could see this game right here being in VR where it's exactly how it is. You're in the fucking environment, you're behind the third person character, you're playing the game the way you've always played it, but you're in the world. Like I think that would be amazing, and I think you get enough games like this or Splinter Cell that come out that way that have always been third person. um like I don't think everything in VR has to be through the eyes. I don't need to be in that person, and there's so many good games like Edge of Nowhere that I've just been blown away by that. I almost would rather see this type of a version of Assassin's Creed than get into that first person. What are your thoughts on that?
yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And I'm not so sure that that's the way they're going to go with it, but absolutely, it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that third person works in VR. You mentioned Edge of Nowhere. I mentioned Hellblade.
Yeah.
Hellblade, one of my favorite games in VR, and it's a third person experience as well. So it absolutely could be done. And I'm with you. I'm not so certain that it shouldn't be done here, at least in the case of Assassin's Creed. Of course, Splinter Cell, you're going to want to be first person in, especially if they're going to do online gameplay. But Assassin's Creed, 100%. And a lot of the fun of Assassin's Creed is the way that you uh,
The movement.
take your character, right, the movement, the way your character moves through the maps. And that might be a little weird try to do that from a first person perspective.
I'm just a big believer if it's not broke, don't fix it. And sometimes some of these games that they try to bring into VR fall flat because they're trying to do something different and new, which I don't get me wrong, I'm always for that, but again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And there's a I want to be pulled into these games like this or like Assassin's Creed that you're already used to playing that way. Maybe you have an option you can go into first person if you want to be in that first person view. I don't know, but um I feel like trying to change something that's like such a big part of an IP, it just could be a mistake.
Yeah, man. I have faith. Obviously, Ubisoft hasn't hit a home run with everything they've done, but most of the stuff that they've put out's been pretty solid. And unlike a ZeniMax or a id Software, rather, Ubisoft has some real experience now in making VR games. They've made what 6 or 8 games at this point, and they continue to make them. So yeah, I think that these are both going to be really solid titles. I do think that they're going to be Quest exclusive, at least timed exclusive. Well, let me ask you, Roots. I mean, we know that Rift S is coming off the market. Do you think that they'll have a PC version of these games, or do you think that they're going to just be standalone exclusive?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like I would think that they would still support the store, but I mean, if they're getting rid of the headset, then I mean, they're still going to have the link as long as people
Right.
are still using it for PC VR. Why not double dip? And I mean, you're still selling two different versions. It's better for the developers. Um, I don't know. I guess it could go either way. And of course, Sion's throwing some shade about the Quest Mini Story Edition. I just, I wish I could be a fly on the wall when some of these people finally get it in their head, what's happening and stuff. It's just so weird, man. It's such a bizarre time for me to see um, what I'm seeing. I don't know.
Yeah, Sion's trolling you, but it's like he people didn't get the memo on Quest 2. Like they still think that it's that standalone is what Quest 1 was. And they fail to recognize that, games like The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, for example, that full game is on there and it's fully featured and impressive.
Uh,
And if they can put that on there with the physics running and everything, there's no doubt in my mind that they can do a fully featured Assassin's Creed game
hmm.
or a fully featured Splinter Cell as well.
Well, I guess it makes sense because neither one of them have tried it. So, it's hard to like. I could talk shit about the index controllers drifting and all that shit. Well, I do, but I've never tried them. So,
Or the
uh,
Vive
or
Cosmos.
the five Cosmos controllers. But yeah, so it's hard to know unless you've tried it, unless you've actually put that headset on and seen how good everything looks and plays. Even in Jarillo's favorite Lies Beneath, it looks amazing and plays amazing. So, um,
Yeah, dude, Lies Beneath. What a good one. I was talking to Anthony about that yesterday. How great that game turned out.
yeah, it's amazing.
But yeah, we're gonna see a lot more stuff like this in 2021. And I mean, what a way to kick off the news cycle for the year, right? We've got one coming from id. We've got two big franchises coming from Ubisoft. Um, you know, 4 positions listed for Assassin's Creed, 17 listed for Splinter Cell. To me, that says that Assassin's Creed is a lot further along in development. Are you reading that the same way as me?
Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna half-ass Assassin's Creed. So that's exactly what it sounds like to me. That it's probably more likely to come out first than Splinter Cell.
So
Which
you think we're gonna get it this year?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, the fact that they're hiring now, I mean, that doesn't sound like they're close. It sounds like they're. I mean, they're even the one that's four. They're three-quarters of the way. But it'll be interesting because VR is just so different. You never know what's going to come out. Like you said, things just drop out of nowhere,
It's
and
like a box of chocolates.
yeah, you never. It. Life was like a box of chocolates, not is, by the
Yeah,
way.
PD says Vertigo 2, Climb 2, Lone Echo 2. Yeah, I know, right? We've went over this on the 2020 show. There is a metric shit ton of games coming out this year. I mean, let's look at the next month or two. I mean, we've got Wraith the Oblivion coming out. I'm super pumped for that. We got Flow Weaver coming, which I think looks really cool as well. I mean, and as we're going to get into later in this episode, some really cool stuff coming to Oculus Quest this week. So yeah, man, it's a good time, and it's going to just continue to snowball as we go along.
Yeah, sounds good.
Absolutely. Anyway, let's talk about one of last year's big hits. One of a game that very well could have been game of the year. I think if had it came out a little earlier in the year and showed that it has the potential staying power, which it now appears that it's going to have. Let's talk about Population One because this week, Big Box VR has not only rolled out a new update to fix several issues, but has also revealed that a season one is coming soon, and it's looking for testers. The studio hasn't revealed what a season one will actually feature, and the only real hint comes from the tweeted video where the shape of a knife can be seen in this selection wheel, which therefore suggests that a hefty melee combat feature could be added into the game sometime soon. Much like its flat battle royale counterparts, Population One should include new weapons, new cosmetic items, as well as significant changes to the map. However, the team has confirmed that the current progression system will not be affected.
Hmm.
So no worries there, Roots. Everything about the game that you loved is still going to remain intact.
Hmm.
What do you think, Roots? Is this the Scion update where they're just going to be bringing a few new tweaks to the map and then knives everywhere so he can sneak up and stab people in the face?
I don't know. I was kind of torn on this because people are, there's two thoughts. Obviously, I guess there would only be one of two things. Like you might find the knife, and everybody might have a knife. I don't like everybody having a knife. I think the thought that when you drop and you land and you have absolutely nothing, that will get ruined with a knife. Like you know what I mean? Some people are good enough with a knife; they won't need a weapon. They'll just shank somebody. And that's one of the things that you scramble. You're like, fuck, man, I need, there's no weapon, dude. Like that's the big thing about Battle Royale. You drop with nothing. So I don't know. And then a lot of people are wondering what that thing in the middle is. Some people thought it was a grappling hook or something. I don't know. It doesn't look like a grappling hook to me, but I don't know what the hell it is. And what does season 1 mean? Like, are we going to have seasons? And what is each season? How long are they going to be? And like, I don't know enough about Fortnite or about all of that stuff and how it all unrolled. So maybe this is very similar to how Fortnite all went down, and everybody has more of an idea. I feel like I'm kind of lost out in the shuffle, and I don't understand what's happening. Gamer Chick thinks I should sign up for the season 1 beta testing. I need a stable connection. So if that adapter, I'm not signing up for anything, bro. Like I'm this close to getting a Rift S. Let's put it that way. So.
Well, let me tell you, Roots, as a parent of 3 mid or to early teens age children, um, I know about the Fortnite seasons, and if that's the model that they're adopting here, this is good news for this game. This is going to make this game become relevant for VR for years to come, and it's going to continue to sell headsets and draw people in. Basically, what this is going to mean is that this game is never ever going to get stale. The gameplay loop is going to remain intact, but the map's going to change. You're going to constantly be getting new weapons and skins, and you know, if it's anything like Fortnite, they'll begin to with each season reveal a piece of the origin story. That was one of the really cool things about Fortnite is that every time that they switch the season, they give you a little cinema sequence that lasts 5 to 10 minutes long, which kind of gives clues as to why everybody's there and what's really going on. Not that it's just a blank, game that everybody's just in there playing a game. There's actually some lore to it. And I think that would be really cool for Population One. I have no problem with them just completely ripping off the Fortnite model because I think it works in VR even better.
Well, Scion says, isn't it already a Fortnite clone? And that's exactly what it is, Scion. It's just like I've said before. There's a reason why this game does well. There's a reason why. What's that other one I always forget on the PlayStation that the Rainbow Six Siege Firewall. There's a reason why these games the game loop is already established. That people already like those games, and then they're coming into VR and they're getting to play a version of a as close as you're ever going to get to that game in VR. So that's exactly what it is. It is a clone of and it's smart. Like, why would you not take something that's already successful and bring it into VR? Everything doesn't need to be redone and remade. If something works, bring it into VR, change it a little bit, and boom, run with it. And
I think that that's where VR is going to shine when it comes to the addition of melee weapons. I'm confident in these game developers. They've proven to me that they're good at balancing out their weapon selection. So I think you're going to see one of two things here: either the melee weapons are going to be overpowered and hard to find, or they're going to be trivial, only useful in the hands of a master like Scion, and more, they're going to be easier to find, if not everyone just having one to start with.
yeah,
But whatever direction they decide to go with, I'm confident that it'll be well balanced. It's not going to be one of these deals where people just land with a knife and start butchering everybody else. It'll be integrated appropriately.
yeah. And I will clarify, Drilla, I don't foresee me buying the Rift S again, but my only reason I would get it again is for stability, because for me, I can't seem to get the Quest 2 to be stable. Everyone else is able to through the link, and I'm 99% sure it's that C drive in the video card. Like Wes said, his C thing ran like shit as well.
Yeah, it runs at like a tenth of the speed of my USB 3.0. Like, I mean, it's almost like having it plugged into a USB 2 cable. It's that unreliable. I don't even try it anymore. I've tried it like 3 times, and it's just been terrible every time. So.
Yeah. So I'm excited to get that adapter and put all the weirdness behind me. If anything, because it's making Gamer Chick feel bad. So she doesn't like to see me have all these technical issues. Anybody that's watched me in a stream having technical issues is going to feel bad, because I get frustrated, and I can only do so much, Wes. I get to a point where like I have to be done, or I'm gonna smash stuff, and I don't smash stuff. I'm not stupid. I don't buy stuff to break it. So I'll stop myself before I get to that point.
The phone tells me that it's time for me to go to work, Roots.
Oh
But
well,
guess what?
yeah. Fuck the
It's
phone.
not.
Isn't that nice?
It's not.
It's funny because Wes messaged me today and asked if 11:05 was going to be a little too late, and I thought, oh shit, dude, because usually he's rushing at noon my time to get out, and I was like, well, it's going to be a short show, but of course you moved your day, so now you get to
Yeah,
relax.
we get to do the whole show. No more dropping topics now. We can finally do the whole show that I've prepared.
Well,
By the way, patrons, when I got on there this morning and dropped the show notes for Virtual Strangers 90, I also dropped the show notes for the 2020 show on there, so you can all go now and look at the monstrosity of the 2020 show and what it looks like on paper.
oh wow, and if anybody notices that uh, the channels for the 2020 show disappeared, they're still there. They're just now hidden because the show's over, and they just don't need to be out there anymore. So.
Yeah. Roots our Discord man cleaning things up for the rest of us.
Yeah, no, I just saw it today and I was like, I don't know why that channel's still there. No one's going to it anymore. It's over. So,
Yep, absolutely. Um, One more thing on population one really quickly. We did get some pretty much a laundry list of new updates that have already hit the game, I assume. Among these, and I listed just a few of them here that stuck out to me, but there are many more. General improvements to hit detection. They fixed issues where players could severely rubber band with a poor network connection. Assorted fixes for repeat matchmaking failure while in a squad. And they also removed the zeros and ones from friend code, so there's no confusion with that. Um, they're actively working on a fix for the climbing jitter, and players uh, that are seeing an update, an in-game notice telling them that they need to update the game, but they don't see it in the store. They're working on a fix for that as well. Currently, if you see that, you can uninstall, reinstall, and it'll fix it.
okay, well, that sounds good. Now Delirium Drew is saying I should just wait for another patch that they screw up link every couple few weeks. They mess up the link and then fix it. Just use VD with a battery pack for 5 hours of play. Not 100% solution though. But that would be great for me if I wasn't streaming because now I'm not looking at my chat anymore. Now I'm going to text to chat and it's reading the chat and it's a nightmare, Wes. Like it's great if there's
Uh,
one person in there chatting to you. It's awesome. But as I'm trying to play my game and then people are talking to me in the chat and I'm hearing the chat and I'm having to stop talking to listen to what the chat's saying, done. I did that one time. I won't stream I will not stream quest games for that reason because I can't have my chat in there. It's a deal breaker. So as much as
yeah.
virtual desktop is great in that respect, without my Oculus Dash, I can't do it. So
Yeah, absolutely understandable. And to his point, I did read somewhere recently that they're working on an update for connection issues with the link service. So I thought of you immediately when I read that. Like, well, maybe this will fix Roots's
well, let's think
issues.
about this though. Okay, so other people like Mash Daddy or whatever use the link all the time and they're not getting dropped every 10-15 minutes.
Everybody has a different computer, though. I
Well,
mean,
that's true.
you
But
know what
my
I mean.
guess is that most people aren't going through the link C, the USB-C. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's one or the other, right? Has to be.
Yeah.
But
I
with Pop One, a laundry list of updates coming here. Still no mention of singles being added in, which is really the top of my wish list for Population One. I want a singles mode, bro. I don't want to have to squat up every time I go into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't. Yeah, eventually that would be nice. It's still going to split the gaming pool, and I don't know that they're quite there yet. Although, I mean, if you're doing one on what it's going to be, I believe, I don't know if it's going to be one person against everybody. Usually it'll be, maybe you're going up against a team. Some people go in there and they think they're that good. They can go up against a team. And Delirium Truth says, what about OVR? And I say, what about an Oculus game? How do you use OVR with an Oculus game for Population One in virtual desktop? For me, I've ran into issues where you're running Steam VR when you're not supposed to be running Steam VR. Or I don't know, man. I can't get OVR to work in Oculus virtual desktop with an Oculus game. It's just not, I had issues. So I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some magical way that I don't know of. But I've just pretty much written off virtual desktop for streaming for that reason. So
Yeah. Well, maybe Gigoed in will integrate some type of feature into the future builds. That guy's pretty good about that.
I don't know why they don't have that. Like they should have it for a button that lets you go straight to Twitch, straight to YouTube, straight to Facebook. Facebook is the only one that does it, obviously, because it's their headset. But I shouldn't have. It should be easier to link it to your streaming than it is, in my opinion. So maybe.
We're getting there, bro. It's still the Wild West days when it comes to this stuff, and it's getting better every day. So I'm sure that a solution will present itself quite soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the meantime, let's talk a little PlayStation VR. When Blood and Truth proved to the rest of us that it is possible under the current Sony structure of VR on PlayStation 5, when they proved to the rest of us that enhancements can be made to existing PlayStation VR games, uh, even if it is forced to run in backwards compatibility mode, people got excited because it's kind of a backdoor means for our favorite games to see some real improvement from this very powerful console. Uh, and in particular, people got excited about the prospects of what it might mean for No Man's Sky. Above all, at the top of everyone's list for games that need this extra boost in power, No Man's Sky is at the top of that list. Uh, you know, and while the game may prove to be playable in its current state for people who only play on PlayStation VR, for many of us who bounce back and forth, the game was just too blurry and and too immersion breaking in its current form to merit any sort of real time commitment. Which a game like that requires from you as a player. You have to put a lot of time into it. But to this point, it's had issues on PC, and it's been way worse on PlayStation VR, and that's why it's such a welcome news when we learned this past week that Hello Games says No Man's Sky will soon see some improvements to the game's resolution and performance when playing in VR on PlayStation 5. A Steam update covering the experimental branch on PC says that, quote, resolution and performance for PlayStation VR have been significantly improved when running on a PlayStation 5. Among the changes also comes a fix for a rendering related crash on PlayStation 5, as well as improved loading times and optimized install size. This game has seen many expansions since initially offering VR support, but the game's most recent improvement allows online crossplay between PC and console players. This makes parity between the game's various supported platforms more important now than ever before. Ruuts, when I learned that this game was going to get PlayStation VR support, I immediately went and bought 2 physical copies from GameStop. They had them for $10, physical copies of No Man's Sky at that time before VR support was added in. Broke the seal on one of them. I bought 2 so that we could play multiplayer here. I broke the seal on one of them and tried it out. And while I found it playable, it was not optimal. It was not something I could see myself spending any amount of significant time in. But perhaps that time has changed. Maybe it's time that I'm going to actually end up breaking the seal on this second copy, because it seems like they're going the blood and truth route here, and we're finally getting some well deserved uh, updates to No Man's Sky, and it's one of the more rich experiences available to us in VR. So this is good news, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now let me ask you this: you said you have two copies,
I
right?
do.
Okay, so they upgrade the PlayStation 5. So Wes gets the good. Who's gonna slum it in the PS4, man? Because
Anybody that wants to play with me, that's who. And trust me, my kids will be down. They're cool with PlayStation VR. They generally, they moved on the Quest for a period there, when I got it, but they've since, over the last probably 2 months, they've migrated back to the PSVR, and it's a impressive library of games. So they're cool with playing PSVR in spite of its limitations.
content is king, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're not getting anything like No Man's Sky on the Quest anytime soon.
Sion wants to know how many points No Man's Sky's worth. Are you gonna win this one, Wes? Go to every planet.
I thought about putting that on the 50-point list, but the thing is, I don't know what kind of a campaign this thing has available, to be quite honest,
I don't know either.
and how many hours it takes to complete it. If somebody could give me some verified numbers, I'll put it on that list.
Yeah, see, Drillo's got a good point. He said it just looks boring to me. I never see combat in any footage, you know? Like, can you imagine watching all, like, every of these planets if there was just firefights and the shit was attacking you? And granted, it's not that type of game. It's more of an exploration and it's got its stuff going on. But it does, to some people, it could be, it's like the forest, right? The forest is amazing for a lot of people, chopping trees down, building stuff. Minecraft, same thing. Other people look at it and say that's the most boring thing I can imagine ever doing. But I guess it's just different tastes. But um, I do wish that there was more action or more activity. It's a beautiful game, though, right? I mean, at least this footage here, right?
Well, I got to say that neither you or I are very qualified to speak on this, because the game is so different in its current form than it was when we
True.
tried it. So many different content updates, bringing various, many different types of updated features to this game. Um, I'll say this, that I kind of agree with you when it comes to the forest. I found the game to be a bit boring. But I feel like this is a different kind of exploration. When you're talking about exploration of an island or a forest, and then you're comparing that to like
Planets.
exploration of a solar
Mm.
system or a universe, there's a lot more possibilities when it comes to No Man's Sky. Something like this would be very valuable to me, who's always looking for something to do with my family, with my kids. Uh, Exploring planets sounds pretty awesome to me, if they get it right, if it can be visually stunning, and this is a big step in that direction, I feel, especially Roots, since there is PC console crossplay now.
Ooh.
So it isn't really all that necessary for me to break that second seal, because I can play one on a PC, and I can play two on PC for that matter, and then one on PS5, and three of us can go in together and not have to make any kind of concessions when it comes to graphics
Or
stuff.
you could just whoever's the redheaded stepchild in your family gets stuck into the fourth one, and the other three have an amazing experience.
Right.
Um, but no, it's I totally makes sense. You're right. We haven't really delved into it. I know some people that have really delved in far into this game say it's amazing. And definitely, it's definitely different. It's just, I think for you, Wes, I think what you should try. Obviously you've tried Minecraft, but get one of those mods. Like they've got ones where you can build a spaceship, like I did with my son when he was about your kid's age, I think your daughter's age, and we gathered all the stuff, built a spaceship, and flew to the moon, and it was so cool, bro. I don't know, I liked it.
Din LVR says he started playing No Man's Sky in November and hasn't played any other VR game since. It is the best VR game, period.
Oh wow.
So there you go.
Well, I'll tell you, just hear it from Denell. I mean, I'll tell you what, man, you're right. Like, it's just like any other game that you scratch the surface of. It's easy to shit on it, even though we're not really shitting on it, just saying that it's not really my cup of tea. I did build my ship. I did fly off to another planet, and that's where my experience stopped. So maybe I need to get back in there.
Yeah, what have they added? They've added living ships. Did they have mechs? They added all kinds
They
of
added
crazy shit into
everything,
this
dude.
game.
Every time I see this something on this a new trailer, it's even more daunting because it was already so much, and now it's like, fuck, man, there's just so much to this game, almost too much. But I don't know.
That's really what's kept me out of it more than anything is that we've got this channel here, and it's hard for us to go in a grinding game like this and put that kind of time into one game. But with that said, how many hours do you have in Pop One now, Roots?
It's like 250 or something. I don't know, some stupid amount. It would be more if my thing wasn't being weird lately. So
Yeah. So yeah, it definitely deserves another look from us, I feel. Even if we can't really, sell out on it the way Danielle has here. I feel like the developers at Hello Games deserve that for all of their hard work.
yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? When people started crying for this PS5 update, pretty much the day the PlayStation 5 came out, I knew it would come. Just because I know these developers and I know what kind of support they give their game. And it doesn't matter if anybody else is doing the work to update their PS4 games into PS5 games. I knew Hello Games would do it because that's what they do.
Well, that's what the difference between the good devs and the bad devs, right? Or the lazy devs, I should say. So
Right, right. Yeah, I have a hard time calling any of them lazy because I don't know what they do. But yeah, I could definitely make the distinction between a good dev and a bad dev. And Hello Games, I mean, the cream of the crop, right? They don't always get it right on the first try, but they always get it right.
they finish what they started, and not
Exactly.
every developer does that. There's so many developers that as soon as they get to the end of the thing, they're already moving on to something else, and they didn't even optimize the game they had to begin with. So
Den LVR says he's got over 60 hours in. Zayla Maru says he's got over 300 hours in.
yeah, well, and Spry Guy's got a good point. Roots has never been known for an high attention span. That's true. I'm always bopping around from here to from everything. So
Right. Well, let's bop our way on to our final news piece this week. And it's a game that we featured a couple of times on our channel, and one that I'm really excited for. One of the more highly anticipated titles for me going into 2021. A Wake In. Developer VR Bros just revealed the first in a new series of developer diaries for their upcoming PC VR title, A Wake In. The game sees players cast as a mannequin that explores an abandoned hotel littered with enemies and puzzles. You'll need to find out how you got there and how to escape in this full VR adventure. In this installment of the development diary, the team looks at some of the VR centric design, including the decision to place players in a wheelchair. The movement system works like you'd expect. Grabbing both wheels and moving your arms will take you forwards and backwards, and you use one wheel at a time to steer. The devs have also implemented teleport and virtual joystick locomotion for those who prefer that. The wheelchair itself has also been fitted with a physical inventory system that has limited space to hold items. Roots finally getting a look under the hood with this one, and the more I see of it, the cooler this looks. I mean, that wheelchair looks like something else with all of its little pockets to put shit in it. And I think it's cool how they implemented the wheelchair. I saw somebody make a comment recently when we were talking about Last Labyrinth, saying, why would anybody put the player in a wheelchair in a VR game? That just don't make sense. And to me, it makes perfect sense because if you're like me, you'd rather play seated, right? I'd like to have an excuse to sit down, and the fact that here's a game that's going to be able to immerse me fully from the comfort of my chair. not only is that going to be a good thing for people like me, but it's going to be a good thing for newbies who might experience some discomfort, standing up and moving around through the space. And I think it's cool that they've added in options.
Hmm.
So if you don't want to, swing your arms and go around the entire place like you're really in the wheelchair, you don't have to. You can use some more conventional VR controls as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, and it would add immersion, but for me, it would. I'll try it, but I almost guarantee I'm gonna be using the joystick just because just like any of these other games where Sprint Vector or whatever, where you're swinging your arms and it's supposed to be really cool. I don't like it, man. I don't. At least in the wheelchair, it's like if you were really in a wheelchair, that's how you're gonna move, unless you've got. I guess either way, teleport doesn't make sense, but the joystick does because it could be an electric, right? I could have an electric joystick on my wheelchair. That's totally immersive.
Absolutely.
So,
And they did mention it as a virtual joystick locomotion. So maybe that's what they meant by virtual.
yeah. So I don't know. That's how I'm assuming that's how I would play it. I can't knock anybody that wants to be more fully immersed in it and really feel like they're in a wheelchair or whatever. That's great. There's just certain things I don't want to be real in a game. Like I didn't want to be blind in Blind either. And smacking that cane all over the place was annoying as hell. But it was a cool, unique, different thing for a while. So
Well, here's the thing with this, and I could certainly see why the locomotion system could potentially induce a sprint vector effect, where you never want to play the game again, even though it's an amazing game. You just say nope, not doing that anymore. Um, so I'm glad they gave players options. But the really cool thing about the wheelchair to me, other than the reasons that I just listed, it presents an interesting problem for you as a character in the game because you are trying to escape an abandoned hotel and you've got all sorts of evil shit trying to kill you. But what happens, Roots, when the elevators don't work and you're
ooh,
trying to escape?
there
What are
you
you going to do? You're in a wheelchair.
go down the stairs. No.
Yeah, head first, right?
Well, you hope you have a little bit of control. But yeah, no, I would. The biggest thing that impresses me is in this so far is the just the way everything looks. Like it just looks like a really cool environment to explore and check out. And every time we've seen more footage, it looks better. So I'm more excited about this game now than I've ever been. And I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, Gamer Chick 13 has it, says it all here. I'm intrigued by how the wheelchair constraint and how problem solving might open our eyes to real life issues for the disabled. That's exactly what I mean by that.
Mm.
It's a game for us, but it's real life to those people, right? So it's going to be an interesting take.
What if you were in a wheelchair and you were like, man, I don't, like my whole reason I go into VR is to get out of this chair, and now you're putting me back in the chair. That'd be a little bit interesting as well.
Zayla Maru says, speaking of wheelchairs, I never finished the inpatient. Funny you should mention that. That's one of today's uh, free stuff and killer deals games.
Oh wow,
Pretty good deal on the inpatient going down right now. So,
cool. Yeah, every time I think of
but
wheelchair, I think of Alex's wheelchair joke.
yeah,
It'll
right.
be there forever.
Yeah, it'll be burned in long after this show has come and gone. People will still be talking about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Awaken, I think it looks phenomenal. I think it looks high quality from a relatively small team. So we have a few symptoms here, Roots. We have high quality game from a small team. I bet you can't guess where these developers are from, Roots.
I would have to say Poland. That's my guess.
VR Bros are indeed from Poland,
Yeah.
which apparently is the worldwide hotbed for VR development. These guys are amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? I thought it was Colorado Springs, Colorado with that pirate game that just disappeared off the face of the earth. Haven't heard anything about that. What was the name of that
Yeah,
one?
well, I mean, have you checked back with those dudes? They might be further along than you think.
Actually, I should check. I still have access. I think I have
Alien
access.
Legends, you're
Yeah.
talking about.
I think I have
Alien
access
Legends.
to something in my library still. It may be still the same thing, but
Yeah, I've pretty much taken a hands-off approach with those guys because that's That's Roots' baby there.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
neighbors
yeah. We'll see. They're right here in my neck of the woods.
in the
So,
spring.
yeah.
Jarillo says, yes, Poland, we rule. Yeah. I mean, you have to hire, you have to outsource people to change the light bulbs, but great at making VR games, right?
They got the light bulbs in the VR headset down pat.
For sure. What's a light bulb? Anyway, um, that's going to wrap our weekly news segment. Just again, quickly, a weekend due for Steam VR release during quarter 1 this year, so we're not going to have to wait very long on this one. I got to imagine by springtime we'll be seeing it, Roots. By the time as things start to thaw out, we're going to be getting some games. We're going to get a lot of them, I think.
Nice. Onakazi says 2 hours. 2 hours until we can watch PD's Vorpax RE7 goodness video. So check out Paradise Decay on YouTube. If you actually, everybody here knows who Paradise Decay is, but if you don't, you better subscribe because you're missing good content.
Yeah, absolutely. And if PD, if it's like he says it is, we may be switching up our list, right, Roots? We
I'm
may be
gonna
putting
if I get my
some stuff.
adapter, if it works, I'm going into Vorpax today for RE7 just to see because I need to play that game. I need Jack
Yeah.
chasing me again.
While we're on the topic, I'm thinking about changing my list up too, because I haven't played anything on that list this week because I've been playing Hitman in VR. And you'll
Mm.
notice that I didn't say that I've been playing Hitman 3 because I haven't been playing Hitman 3. I've been playing Hitman 1. This is so cool, Roots, because I mean, after you jump through a few hoops, and you do have to jump through some hoops to make it work, you end up getting the full games of Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 updated to Hitman 3 standards and fully playable in VR. Three $60 AAA games, all playable in VR.
That's crazy.
So I'm thinking I don't want to start on chapter 3 and ruin it. I've never played Hitman before. So I'm going to start with 1 and play through the whole thing. Uh, but as far as this goes with our contest, I need confirmation from you that we're going to be able to add these as individual games, even though I have to go into Hitman 3 to play them.
I
It's
don't.
the full game, the full
Yeah, I
campaign.
think it's the same. I mean, as long as it's the campaign in itself, it really doesn't matter which engine you play it in, right? So
Yeah, it's so good too. And tune into the virtual show on Wednesday. I'm going to talk a lot more about that game. What else are we going to talk about, Roots? We've got well, I mean, let's get into the reminders here because it kind of ties in. Our first set of reminders are for what comes out this week, and one of the games that come out this week is Right, the Eye of Atlantis. This comes to us from Orichalcum Pictures on January 27th via Steam VR. So January 27th. Today is 24th Monday. I'm sorry, 24th Sunday, 25th Monday, 26th Tuesday, 27 Wednesday. So this game comes out on Wednesday. That means the embargo will be lifted and we'll be able to talk about it. So we'll probably end up talking about this on Wednesday, right?
yeah, absolutely. And I need to get into this because I just realized I hadn't even claimed it yet until this morning. So
Yeah, dude. And let me just really quickly, an FYI for you, as well as anyone who might be thinking about buying this in our community. This game is not officially supported for Oculus Link. So it supports Oculus Rift, Rift S, HTC Vive, and I think maybe even Valve Index.
hmm,
But it is playable on Link. I played it. That's how I've played it, is through Link. There's a few issues with it, but it's nothing game breaking.
okay.
Uh, so don't get too like critical of it if you do come across any like weird jank with it, because they told me basically to not play it. They told me it wasn't supported on
Hmm,
Oculus Quest Link, that I shouldn't play it on there, and I just went and did it anyway, and it wasn't as bad as they said it was. So
okay.
uh,
Well,
they are working on support for Oculus Link, and that's going to be updated at a later date.
let me ask you this. This will go right along with Delirium Drew's advice for roots on Pop One. What about through virtual desktop? You think it will be any
Uh,
different or?
That might make a difference actually, and I'm going to try it in my G2 as well. So tune in for all of this on Wednesday as we try various methods to play this game. I can't tell you any more about it than that,
Yeah.
but we will be talking about it. Um, Possibly, if we have room, we might even talk about Synth Riders update
Ooh, that's
coming
right.
out this past week.
Yeah, we
I've
got
been
to get into that.
Yeah, I've been playing that a little bit too. Um,
Let me ask you
so
this on a short, you haven't played it much, probably not as much as Beat Saber, but do you agree with Radio Runt? Radio Runt says hands down, Synth Riders is better than Beat Saber. He won't even argue. He just says it's better.
I need more time in it.
Okay.
There are things I like about it better for sure, but there's so many different aspects to it. And I didn't see it all yet. So
Okay.
I need to see the different maps. There's like 8 or 9 different maps that you can run through. If they're like the tutorial map, then I'll agree completely because the tutorial map is on a rail. So instead of standing in one spot with a stationary background, and having things flying at you like the other rhythm games, you're moving through the level and flying into the things that you're supposed to be catching in rhythm.
Okay.
So if there's more of that, then hell yeah, dude, it's going to be better easily than Beat Saber. But I went into another one that was stationary, like Beat Saber and like Audica. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I know I like the music better. I like the vibe better. Um, the gameplay itself, I didn't see a campaign for it. I would really prefer the game kind of put me through the paces instead of me having to configure settings every time I want to play a game. I'd rather the game just take me through the gamut, right?
Yeah.
And you can put it on random. You can randomize everything, but I'd rather have a tailor-made campaign that starts me off as a beginner and escalates not only in difficulty but in complexity because there's a lot of different ways you can play this game.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm excited to get into the multiplayer with you as well. Right? Isn't there
Yeah,
more?
that's
Yeah.
another aspect. I was thinking, maybe we'll cover this on Wednesday to some extent, but I think it's about time that we do a full deep dive on rhythm games
Yeah.
because we have enough good ones now to do that. And in addition to that, the ones that we've played have been updated significantly since we last covered them, with campaigns, with multiplayer modes, with 360 modes, with different mods and songs. There's enough to do probably a 2 hour episode just on that.
Yeah. I agree.
I think like we did with the racers last year. I think that it's time. I mean, I haven't even played Pistol Whip 2089 yet. I need to do that. Um, and that would be a good reason to, right?
Yeah, I agree. Radio Run says there's a workout mode in Synth Riders. So I know your wife would like that. That's what she loved about the Fit VR, right? Or was it the Fit
That's
VR?
what that yeah, that's what I would compare it to. If I had to compare it to anything, I would say that this is a fun version of Box VR or Fit XR
Yeah,
as it's called now because it is fun.
yeah, absolutely.
I haven't played it. I haven't played it much, but I've played it enough to know that it's a fun game. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
anyway, that came out last week. A pretty good music update for Synth Riders. So we'll probably say a few words on that. Again, Hitman 2. I'm sorry, Hitman 1 in VR. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Eye of Atlantis, and God knows what else. But
Do you,
should be a good show.
do you think Hitman 3? I guess you haven't played 3, but it's worth playing PC. I saw it's on PC. I wonder if it plays in Vorpex or any of those. I know PD's done it, right? Or no?
I would suggest. I mean, if you could get it going in full VR on Vorpex, maybe. But the way that these environments are, you want to be in this. You don't want to play this on a screen, like
Mm.
a immersive screen. This, it's amazing,
Do you
dude.
think it ever
It's
comes to
really
PC
amazing.
VR?
I think it's a real possibility.
Because I don't see myself outside of PlayStation VR 2 playing PlayStation VR. Um, just because
Uh, I think it's a very real possibility that this is a timed exclusive, and we will see VR support on PC at some point.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I don't want to do the whole segment from Wednesday's show today. But this game is worth every penny of the $60 I spent on it. It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll talk more about that on Wednesday. Be sure to tune into it. I got a lot to say about it.
Cool.
But what else is out this week? Well, Gorn, for one. Gorn coming out for Oculus Quest. And Roots, I wasn't going to give much thought to covering Gorn again because we covered it before. But I got thinking, man, somebody was asking me on the Discord today. It was Brandon. Brandon asked me on the Discord today if we were going to cover it. And then it occurred to me just how long ago it was when we covered Gorn. I mean, we were in our infancy as a channel when we covered Gorn. And it's out on PlayStation now. It's coming out on Quest. It might be time for us to revisit Gorn.
Absolutely. Well, and that's one of the things I was telling somebody the other day in my stream is like there's this big it's that we do the show for a lot of different types of people, and sometimes as enthusiasts that have been in the around for 3-4 years, we've for whatever reason we forget that some people Gorn, this is new, like they've never seen Gorn, they just got their Quest, they want to hear about Gorn, they want to know about this game coming to Quest. So, like, it's hard to say, well, we've covered it so many times. Well, it's another platform, it's new to people. And like you said, it's been so long since we've actually covered it because you went in and you played it for the first time, and that was a year and a half ago or a year ago or whatever. And I agree. I think we should cover it for sure.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email out to Free Lives, the developers, see if we can maybe get the Quest version, as that is the most relevant to today. And if we can, we'll cover it again. We'll do another episode on it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Scion, on the topic of on Hitman 3 PCVR, says that there's no track DualShock pad on PCVR, so he can't see it. Let me just say this. The way that they used the track gamepad in that game would easily convert over to motion controllers. Like they could use motion controllers in this game if they wanted to. Now people would complain about it because it wouldn't be full motion controller use. But what you do with that gamepad, you could do with motion controllers as well.
It's weird, man. People get so weird about that. You're right, dude. Like I played Trover. People said you have to, they said the same thing. It's not going to be the same. You don't have the tracked controller, right? I used my touch pads and it was tracked, Wes. You know what I mean? Like it's weird because for some people there literally is a disconnect. If their hands are now separate, they don't know how to control a controller. It's got to be one. And like even if you had a piece that connects it, it's now one. I can do it. It's very bizarre to me. It's a very bizarre limitation that I don't understand because it's the same thing. Your controllers are separate. I don't know.
Paradise Decay says that he bought Hitman 3 on PSVR and he doesn't have the PC version, but apparently the Red Dead 2 Vortex profile works with it on PC.
Really? Okay.
That's what he says. He hasn't tried it, but that's what he hears.
Well, I see. I've never gone into Vortex and Red Dead either. I need to do that as well. It's so demanding anyway. So, but I'm just gonna listen to what you said because it's not my type of game anyway. So if I was gonna play it, it would be in VR with all those.
I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll be surprised at how much fun you have in this game. Because I'm not the sandbox guy. I hate sandbox VR, but this is really good. It's so detailed. It takes about tune in on Wednesday and we'll get into it. I don't want to spend any more time on it now, but you're going to be surprised with this game just how the technical achievement that it is. It takes a lot of the stuff that we like about like Saints and Sinners and just expands it.
Cool. Now you got me really intrigued. So yeah, I can't wait.
It's cool. It's really, really good. What else do the Oculus Quest community have to look forward to this week? Well, how about Jupiter God from Game Dust on the same day as Gorn, January 28th. Oculus Quest and possibly the PlayStation VR as well. No confirmation on that, surprisingly, because Quest and PSVR support were both revealed on the same day at the same time, both slated for late January. And now we've got this confirmed date for Quest, but mum's the word on PSVR. So maybe they're hung up on that Sony QA. I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'll tell you what, Quest owners are in for a treat. Um, they've never played a platformer like this, where you're literally have all these different things, the suction cups, and you're coming up to like puzzles almost, right? You get into a room and you're like, okay, how do I get through this? And you got to look around and try to figure out. And it's such a good game, very underrated, and I think it's going to be a great addition for the Quest.
Dude, it is. It was one of the sleepers of 2020, and not only for the Oculus Quest, but I think the PSVR community both. They've got a treat on their hands here. If they haven't played it on PC already, they're going to really be surprised at just how fun this is.
Yeah, this is a definite recommend for me on day one for you. I mean, I don't, it's not even that expensive. It was like $15, right? Or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And there could be that tax that we often see. It might be 20, but I think it's worth 20.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, and it's got a lot of replayability. So I don't, and that was my only gripe about this game is I wanted more because I just enjoyed it so much. And I can't imagine that they're not going to have more down the road. But I mean, obviously that's
well, I mean, even now they're adding in time attack mode, which has dedicated maps.
true.
So,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, there's more gameplay for you right there coming to PC on I think the same day. So,
Yeah. True.
you know, be on the lookout for that. PD did a video on that too, playing the time attack.
Yep.
Um,
Cool.
we've got Gorn coming on the 28th. We've got Jupiter Grod coming on the 28th. We've got Right coming on the 27th. What else could possibly be coming for VR gamers this same day? How about VR Adventure to Steam and Viveport? Uh, Speaking of sleepers, right? 2020 sleepers. This is a game I put in the same category as Pop One, where if it had come out earlier in the year last year, I feel like this would have been really been in the discussion for Game of the Year. This game is so good. I really look forward to those who have native Steam VR headsets being able to check it out.
Oh yeah, there's at least two or three people I know of. I know Jim Hall for one that is ready to buy this. He was ready to buy it on Steam when he was watching me stream it on Oculus, or maybe it was Spry Guy, or maybe both. But it's cool that it's coming, and eventually I'd like to see it on the Quest. And they have plans coming to the Quest, right? I think they said what quarter it was.
Q2.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Q2, this comes the Quest, PSVR later in the year.
Nice. Well, I'll tell you what, this is definitely an amazing game and must own for anybody that likes platformers. Hard platformers too, man. This is
Let me ask
actually
you, Roots. Um, Disqualified for Game of the Year 2021 came out on PC last year on the Oculus only, but in 2021 it's coming out on Steam. It's coming out on Viveport, Quest, and PlayStation VR.
I don't know. I mean, I would say if it was earlier in the year, probably would be. Any of these games that came out at the end that we said, if it would have had more time, it could have done something more. But then they have another release shortly after the beginning of the year. I think should be considered, but I mean, I guess we'll decide that when it gets closer. But
Yeah,
um,
we'll take it to the patrons, see what they think about it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because they're on the council, right? The Council of 12 or 13, the Council of 13.
That's right. The most important council, tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, a good week for VR as we round out January. Right, the Eye of Atlantis, Gorn, Jupiter God, VR Adventure, and that's just this week. We'll see what next week holds when we come to it. But now we've come to the wish list segment where we remind you and ask you to please join us in real time as we do our part to support these developers by going on to the various platforms, be it Steam, Oculus, or Sony, and wish listing their game. There's a reason, friends, that every time you see the devs promoting their game, they say, please wish list our game. It really helps. It helps them to raise awareness about their game through the various platforms. It helps them to judge demand for their game so that they know what to expect when they launch and how to price it even. I mean, if a bunch of people are wish listing the game and they think they're going to sell a lot of it. I mean, they might knock $5 off the price just in anticipation that they're going to sell a lot of it. So a lot of different ways you can help developers out. None of them as easy as a click like this. So join us in real time, please, as we go and wish list the game.
And if you notice, and if you want to call Roots out because he's not doing it in real time, I just tried. Everything on my list is, I went to go do a wake in. I've already got it on my wish list, bro. So I don't have anything to do. I'm just gonna sit here while you all wish list stuff because I know you guys have been slacking on that wish listing stuff.
Yeah, we talked about a few new things. We've got, as you mentioned, A Wake In. We've got the Eye of Atlantis. I mean, Jupiter God, VR on Steam. I'll go wish
Oh
list that
yeah,
right.
that's true. I can't do that. I already own it on the other, but I can. There it is, right there. Oh, it's already on the wish list, dude. I can't get away from this shit, Wes. I'm like, damn it.
Well, you know what that means, Ruth. That this means that you're very supportive of the developers.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, I can't wait for this game to come out on Quest because this is a game that would be great to showcase to somebody. Then VR, right?
Yeah, dude, it's perfect for that. It's a perfect demo title, even though they might end up throwing their controller about halfway through the second level.
Well, just tell them to play old school stuff. If they're kids of today, yeah, they'll get frustrated because their games are easy. Um, the old school
Yeah,
platformers are
it's
where
on
it's at.
my it's on my wish list as well. I didn't even think about getting into the beta on this thing, on this Steam version because I have it already. And it plays so well through Revive, but it probably they might would like some feedback from somebody with the Steam VR headset like myself. So
Think about
maybe
how good it'll look, right? Native.
I already know. I mean, it works perfectly in Revive, and it's like I said before. This was the game that convinced me that I did the right thing in not returning my G2.
Mm.
Like this game is so beautiful in that headset. It's crazy.
Spry Guy's got a good point. It's definitely a first world problem, but Viveport Infinity is wonderful, but my backlog of games isn't shrinking because of it. That's the problem. You're now where Roots and Wes are. When you have too many games to play, and it sounds stupid, there's so many times I've got too much to play that I don't play anything. And that's where the show is good because it kind of shifts me and I have to play it to talk about it. I still want to play it, but it's like it gives me structure. It's a weird issue, and it's definitely a first world problem. I'd rather have too many games than not enough, but because I guarantee there's somebody out there that has like one or two games, and they're like, "Fuck you," like you know what I
Right.
mean? Like I want something different, and you're telling me like you got too much. But that's what Viveport Infinity is. Like if you want to get anywhere near what anybody that's been in the industry had their VR for 2-3 years, and you can jump in and now have access to all these games. It's a great thing to have. So
Yeah, Radio Rat needs his very own Beat It challenge so that he can. He needs to be an at-home player so that he can play along and work through that backlog the way you and I plan to do this year.
yeah, absolutely. Well, you got to get your VR headset to not drop like Roots. It doesn't, like I spent 4 or 5 hours playing Dying Light, and I didn't get any of it on video, dude. So that's perfect for you. Like keep doing it, Roots. Keep it up.
There you go, man. Or you can start recording it instead of trying to stream everything.
Well,
That'd be a good thing to do as
yeah,
well.
but that's the thing, man. Like, it's weird. If I don't have people with me, it's kind of boring in some senses. I do enjoy playing anyway, but there's something about, and I guess not everybody is meant to stream, but I genuinely, that's my favorite part of streaming is being there with the people. And so when you're playing a game with people and it's like I don't know, it's different. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get your issue straightened out then,
yeah.
because I can imagine if I had to have people with me to enjoy a game, like even like single player story based games. I mean, that would be a nightmare.
Well, I even thought about doing like last night. I was going to try some Vertigo 2, but I know that there's some people that really haven't seen much of Vertigo 2 and would love to watch me play it, and so I feel like I'm kind of denying them as well. So I don't know. I will record some stuff. I'm sure. Don't be naive and think Roots will never. All of a sudden, something will come out, and Wes will be like, "What the fuck, man? That game just disappeared." And Roots had like 17 episodes ready, backed up to go. But I'm not really not thinking that far ahead. So
Well, like I said, I've made some progress, but it's in Hitman. It's not even on my list right now.
It will be. You've
So,
been recording it, right? That's all that
uh,
matters.
well, yeah, but I mean, I've 99%, well, not 90% of my gameplay was in the prologue training mission. I played it
Uh,
over and over and over and over again because it's set up in such a way that you can finish it that many different ways and it's different. And they set up challenges for you,
hmm.
like to earn experience points. They track your character level online through their servers, and you get XP for like killing the target in like so many different ways. And there's different challenges they give you. Ways to gain entry into the compound, and ways to kill the target. And the training mission offered so many different ways. Um, and I did them all. I
Mm-hmm.
got every challenge. So really, I have not recorded most of what I've been playing, but it was not the chapter or not the part one story campaign anyway. It was the training prologue training mission.
So let me
So
ask you this: is it your intention to play through all three games before you get to the third one? Are you going to play through all one, play through all the two, and then get to all to three?
yeah,
Oh
that is
wow.
100% my intention because it's that good.
Well, you
It's
definitely need to put them
that
on your list. Absolutely, bro. Especially since there's right
Yeah,
now
I wanted to
zero chance
confirm
of
with
me
you
being able to.
first that I wanted to confirm with you first that you agreed with me that this is three games. It needs to be counted as three
Oh,
games.
absolutely. I mean, just to me, I equate it as the same thing as Warpacks or Helix Vision. I mean, they've just taken the first version and they've allowed you to play it through that source, which is Hitman 3. So it's cool.
Yeah. It's like Pixel Rip 1989 ported into 95.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of deal.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway, that brings us to our free stuff and killer deals this week, Roots. And as always, let's start off with our PlayStation Plus reminder. The titles for January are Shadow of the Tomb Raider, a good one, Greedfall, and for PlayStation 5 from Tripwire Interactive, Maneater, Shark Game.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Have you played
and
that?
I don't think you can fist bump it, Roots. It does not look friendly.
You probably don't want to fist bump it. I got my shark fist bumping out of the way with Asgard's Wrath. Sharky.
Well, there you go. You're good to go then.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we detailed a fairly substantial PlayStation VR sale that was going on last week. That sale is over, but some other great deals on PSVR games this week. The stuff that I noticed last week that wasn't part of that sale, it all seems to be on sale this week. So Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition, which means it includes all of the DLC. And again, the DLC is playable in VR, so you want that stuff. $20 for Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition. Uh, Roots, it's this that makes it so hard for me to recommend people buy the regular one.
Yeah.
The Gold Edition is so good.
Oh, $20, you get all the DLC, you get all the Jack goodness. I am I really do believe I'm sadistic, because I'm looking forward to getting into Vorpax with Jack again, and I've never been more scared in a video game than when I've played this game. Legitimately running from this dude, So I'm interested to see if it'll be as good in the immersive screen mode, because I still don't believe PD with the full VR. At least for me. Maybe I'll figure it out, but it just is never happening. So
Absolutely. And I agree. I want to check that out too. I'm so excited, Roots. I'm excited because Resident Evil 8 is right around the corner. It is right around the corner. And again, that confirmation of PS4 support, that locks it for me. It 100% is getting PSVR support. And and I can't wait. And I've got this demo to check out now. Again, if you want to see my reaction to the demo, uh, check out my flat YouTube page, link down below. Going to be doing that either tonight or tomorrow, probably.
Cool.
So be on the lookout for that.
Cool.
Other deals include Skyrim VR for $18, Astrobot Rescue Mission $15. Roots still the gold standard in my opinion, but again, I haven't finished Vin yet. But so much variance in the levels in Astrobot, and it's got that AAA Sony polish all over it. Still at $15.
Yeah, and it's the one thing, at least like you said, I haven't finished Ven VR, but the one thing that Ven VR so far doesn't have that I wanted in there that this does is a Minecraft level or a minecart level where you're like going on a roller coaster thing. You're going a water level, like all the things that you remember about, Mario. It's
Right.
it's definitely one of a kind, and as amazing as Ven VR is for being difficult and an amazing game. This game, and like you said, it's no slouch, man. It's definitely an amazing game as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you forget how good it is until you start looking at some of these clips and you start thinking back to playing it. I mean, it's just so great.
It is.
Hopefully, I say hopefully it gets PS5 updates too, but I mean, this game looks beautiful on PS4. I can't imagine how much better it could look
I want a
on
sequel.
PS5. Yeah, dude, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And Astro's Playroom is awesome flat. So I can only imagine how good something like that's going to be on PlayStation 5 in VR.
Yep. Absolutely.
We got Rush of Blood Roots for $7. Again, another must-own title, another title from PlayStation VR, the likes of which we haven't seen in any title on any other platform. This game's still one of a kind. Even though I am enjoying Coaster Combat, it does not hold a candle to Rush of Blood. And it's not just because of the horror theme. It's the environments, it's the roller coasters, it's the gameplay. Everything about this game is just amazing, and it's still one of my favorites to this day.
Yeah, it's still one of the few games that makes me miss having a PlayStation VR. Like 99%, I'm okay. I've got so much other stuff to do, but there's those few titles that I didn't get enough of when I owned them, and this is one of them. So
Yeah, it's good, and it's one of those that's infinitely replayable. Like I could play this game through 100 times and not get sick of it. So
yeah,
like, it's so good, and the outdoor atmospheres in this, I don't think I've ever felt presence like that in outdoors, except with the exception of like maybe Phantom Covert Ops when you're in the water. You really feel outdoors in that. Same thing with Rush of Blood here when you're going through the outdoor sections. You really feel like you're outside.
yeah, absolutely.
Jarillo keeping people in check, saying happy y'all didn't hit the like button. Come on, bros.
Yeah,
Hey, I agree. Come on, bros. Come
yeah,
on, man.
yeah. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
I'll tell you what, too, and comments also, comments, likes, all that stuff, it all helps the algorithm. So
Absolutely. What else do we have? Roots Doom VFR. We already spoke about it. $9 a steal for that one. How about Moth half off at $15? I mean,
that's a good deal.
it's a great deal, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then Farpoint, the definitive aim controller game, $10. Again, must own, right?
Yeah, one of the best stories in VR. I mean, it's the story was so good, the action was so good. This is another one that I would love a sequel of. I'd love to play this on PC, which I never is going to happen, but I'd love to.
Nope. No, looking forward to whatever the imminent announcement is from the studio. Should be getting that any day now, Roots.
Yeah, well, didn't you hear VR's dead though?
Absolutely.
Nothing good coming out in 2021.
Delirium Drew says, has Roots played through Astrobot? You did, right? You beat that one?
Yeah, I beat that. It was one of those things that some people didn't understand, and it's kind of how you are with Resident Evil. It's like I got to the very end of it, and for a long time I stopped playing because I didn't want it to end, and then I finally did finish it and put a nail in it because I was getting ready to sell my PlayStation, and I was like, oh God, I gotta start finishing stuff now because I'm not gonna have it anymore. So it's definitely worth playing through, and I think it's one of the best platformers I've played in VR.
Absolutely. Farpoint though, one of the essential PlayStation VR games, and really, really hoping to get a sequel on PlayStation 5. You see that promotional material for that game, Returnal, one of the PS5 flat games from a Sony first party studio.
Hmm.
I look at that game and I see the potential that a Farpoint 2 could have on PlayStation 5. I so hope that that's what they're getting ready to announce.
Yeah. Well, little time to wait, right?
That's what they say. Firewall, the other must own aim controller game, $13 right now. So it's still on that one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got a big community as well. So
And then we have the Impatient, and again, a game not for everyone, but an underrated game. If you like a dark story, and if you don't mind your game being more story than actual gameplay, then you'll like the Impatient. And for $10, I mean that's a fair price for that game. It's worth $10 all day long.
yeah, that was one of the biggest complaints, right, when it came out was people felt like it was one, not what they expect or what they were thinking it was going to be, and then it was a little overpriced, right? So for $10, it
Yeah.
lets you get into the game and realize that even though it wasn't what you thought it was, it's still really good. So
Yeah, this game came from us to us from Supermassive Games, who brought us Rush of Blood. So when people heard that that developer was bringing us a $40 VR game, expectations went through the roof, and therefore this game became VR's latest victim of expectations. It did not live up to what people expected it to be. People were angry about it, said that it sucked, but in all truthfulness, it didn't suck. It was good. It just wasn't what people wanted it to be. And for $10, I mean, it's worth a good, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours, whatever it takes to play through it. And you can play through it multiple times. And the whole hook of the game is that your decisions affect the story. It was kind of the first implementation of what we're seeing in games like Saints and Sinners today, where your choices affect what happens with the story.
cool.
Free game on Epic Game Store this week, Galactic Civilizations 3. Never heard of it, but again, free's free, bro.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you
my
should pick
library's
that up.
growing, right? So
Yeah, dude, I've got quite a substantial Epic Games library now. Some good stuff in there too.
yeah.
Quest Store, we've got a few sales. The daily deal House Flipper VR for $12. So if you're the type of person who goes into gaming just to do some work, well, here you go. House Flipper VR is your type of game. Root's not my type of game.
No, I'm not too much on. I mean, maybe that's what you do for a living. I don't know. It's just it looks pretty cool, I guess, for people, but it's not my cup of tea either.
No, no, not my thing. But I'd rather play Thief Simulator if I'm going to go into these houses. I want to break in and steal some shit.
Yeah, but I think Thief Simulator stopped at a point where they needed to continue, because like I need to go in and be able to silence that witness, that lady that saw me, like at some point.
Murder Simulator, right?
Yeah, like because I saw her see me, and now what
See,
am I gonna do?
see, I told you you'd like Hitman because that's exactly what you're doing in Hitman.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
Breaking in, stealing shit, killing people, however you want.
Shit,
It's up to you.
one thing that I well, no, we'll save it for Wednesday. But yeah, because I keep wanting to talk about it. So
Well, that'll be good. It'll be a good conversation then. Quest Store, some good bundles this week, Roots. Both bundles $22. First of all, we got Pixel Rip 1995 being bundled with Shooty Skies Overdrive, a game that people keep telling me that I need to try. So $22.
you haven't tried this yet? I was gonna ask you, Wes, if this is worth Shooty Skies is worth getting, because I looked in my Quest and it says you already own Pixel Rip 1995. I can get this for like 750 or something. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
$7 for this one.
yeah.
Yep,
It's
I'm
like,
probably
dude,
gonna get it.
yeah. So in the chat, let us know if you've played Shooty Skies and you think it is absolutely worth $7, and Wes and Roots needs to not pass this up. Then let us know.
Yeah, and everybody already knows how good Pixel Ripped is. So like that game alone is worth the $22. So it's like you're getting Shooty Skies for free from buying Pixel Rip 1995.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another great bundle puts together Rush and Void Racer Extreme. Again, $22, two solid Quest games. You can't go wrong.
Have you tried the Void Racer Extremes? Because I have not, but it looks pretty good, man. It looks like it's got some crazy tracks, right?
Right, right. And then, yeah, very much the same situation as the last bundle. Like I played Rush a bunch, have not played Void Racer Extreme, but it does look cool.
Yeah, it looks different. So
Looks fast.
yeah, it does. You race your friends,
Yeah,
bro. Who
that's
doesn't
what I
want to
want
race
to
their
do.
friends? Yeah.
I'd be in Radio G every day, Radio G Proteus, if you could just race your friends in it.
I wish I could do like Tron racing in VR. You know, like with the lines and stuff, cutting people off. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there.
I think we will too.
All right, so that's the Quest store. We go on to Steam. Carnage Chronicles, $16. This one high up on the list for a revisit, right?
Yeah, Chrono Trigger. We actually were talking about that recently, and that's definitely one
Absolutely.
of the ones that is worth picking up for sure.
Yep. Synth Riders, we spoke about it earlier. $15, half off on Steam right now.
What's the cost on it?
It's normally 30.
Oh wow, yeah, that's definitely worth $15, right? Because the multiplayer alone is worth it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of content here. Even like the stock content. There's a lot of different songs, a lot of different tracks. See what I mean about how you fly through the level on a rail?
yeah, it just seems like it just makes you feel like you're moving, right? Which is cool. Um,
Yeah, I prefer this, and I've said it before when it comes to like wave shooters versus rail shooters. Well, I'll take a rail shooter any day because it really immerses you being able to move through the space.
yep.
And it's very much the same thing with these type of rhythm games as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so one more. I just put it here on the pure basis of value alone. Intruders Hide and Seek once again on sale for $2.
Oh my god.
This is just like a no-brainer. You can find that in your couch, and what you'll get for that $2 is one of the best narratives I've ever experienced in VR.
Yeah, and if you like a very very really good story with a very frustrating at least for me, it's a stealth game, and it's you got to be on your toes, man. Those burglars are no slouch, man. They'll come, and that's the crazy stuff, dude. You're a kid, and they come and they'll fucking punch you in the face, bro. And you're like, what is going on, dude? It's crazy. It's a good story.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It's incredibly challenging stealth gameplay, and it's got a dark theme and interesting story, especially the way it ends. I can't believe still that they're selling this for $2. I mean, damn, dude. What's it take? People buy this game.
Yeah, that's definitely worth $2 for sure.
Yeah. And then that brings us to Viveport. The only new title that I noticed that I knew was a new title was this Swordsman. This is the latest title coming to us from Sin Studio. And apparently, according at least to the PSVR players, this is their best title to date.
Oh wow,
Um,
I'm gonna have to check that out.
melee combat at its finest.
Okay.
Anyway, that's going to wrap up free stuff and killer deals and bring us to our final reminder this week and every week. And that is how you can help support us to do this. And of course, the easiest and best way for you to support us, if you're a new viewer, is to please consider subscribing. It's the big red button with the bell right next to it. Be sure you click both of them. That's the easiest and best way to help us grow, help get us in front of some other new viewers so we can continue to bring the word to new people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, if you'd like to do a little something more, you can do so by supporting us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you can gain access to our weekly show notes as well as the always awesome Money Show. which is a special episode that we occasionally produce for our patrons.
But
And
now that your schedule's changed a little bit, we even when it's off when you're working, if we can coordinate it, I don't have to stay up till 1 or 2 a.m. to play with you. So I think we will be able to put more out in the future because we keep saying that and then it doesn't happen. But we've had a lot of shit drop over the last month or two. So
yeah, we've had 2020 show and all sorts of different stuff going on. So about to get back into the swing of things with regards to the money show, and I'd be on the lookout for that.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Discord, of course. Maybe you don't want the conversation to end. Maybe you'd like to just keep talking VR all the live long day. Well, good news, friends, because you can do just that by scrolling down to the description below. There you will find an invitation to our Discord community, which is where we all live. It's where I live, it's where Ruuts lives. All the people you see in the chat right now, they're all there, most of them anyway. And we're talking VR, we're talking life, we're talking about my mom, whatever. It's on there, and we invite you to join the community and join the conversation.
Yeah, it's one of the things I love about the Discord is, believe it or not, Wes and I are very 100% accessible. You message us, whisper us, comment to us in the Discord, and we're gonna respond. So it's good.
Really quickly, on Akazi says that Steam Resident Evil 7 is currently on sale. So if PD's video convinces you later, go pick it up while it's on sale.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you once again for watching. For Ruuts, I'm Wes. Oh, quickly, again, reminder, tune in this Tuesday, VR 365. I'm going to be the guest on there. Be sure to tune in and say hello in the chat. We'll be there answering questions, talking VR, having a good time on Anthony's channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I thought you were going to say reminder Wednesday is the virtual show. So reminder of that as well.
Yeah, the Monday show now permanently on Wednesdays. So tune in for that as well. Tuesday VR 365, Wednesday virtual show. Good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Now, with that said, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Ruuts, I'm Wes. We'll see you in a couple days. Bye bye.
Take it easy.